And the husband say, "Oi! I told you first time, second time, now it's the third time. Every time use the toilet, clean it up." Guess what the wife say? Why are you so angry? You don't love me? Yeah? What's the problem here? Simple problem, right? The girl didn't, in this case, the girl didn't clean up. The girl made the whole toilet messy. So if you look at both of them actually have a meta program created during childhood. Now let's look at the guy. Let's look at the guy first. The guy, in his family, when he was young, he had a few siblings. 3 siblings. He was the youngest. He got the older brother, then the second brother. So usually in the meeting, when I say meeting, it's dinner time. During dinner time, the whole family will gather and then they will eat dinner together. Right? So the father will start and say, "Today my day was this. I saw an elephant and I saw a polar bear during work." And then the wife will say, "Today I cleaned up the whole house, I've done this, I've done that." And then the brother will start to say, "Today I went to school, I met this girl, and I met this very smart teacher." Now when it comes to the second brother will then story about the whole day as well. When it comes to him, "Okay, my turn now." So imagine this husband, my turn now. When he was young, he was expecting to share everything that he had gone through during the day. He said, "My turn now." And then everyone looked at him and said, "You, young boy, share what? No need to share." So over the years, as this keep happening, this meta program is created in the kid, saying that, what's happening here? The kid always wants to express himself, but nobody listens. So in this case, fullback, many years later now, after married, right? Why did this husband get so angry after saying the third time? Because to him, "I told you once, I told you twice, and this is the third time I'm telling you. Why are you not listening to me?" This is the guy's meta program. He thinks that nobody is listening to him. In this case, he thinks that the wife is not listening to him. This is the husband's meta program. What about the wife's meta program? The wife always like to make things messy. Or in this case, she don't purposely go in the toilet and make it messy and say, "Let's see how he'll react today." No, she just use it and just leave it there. Right? So let's look at the daughter's meta program when she was young. What family was she in? What was her father like? What was her mother like? Right? So it's actually what happens when this girl was young. She was brought up in this family where the husband is very strict. The father in this case is very strict. You need to clean this thing up. My house, my family, we have rules. Huh? We have proper rules. Therefore, after you do something, you have to put it back nicely. If you don't put it back nicely, if you after you play your Barbie doll, you don't put it back nicely, I'm just going to tear it, or I'm going to burn it, I'm going to throw it. Because who did that mistake? You did that mistake. So in this case, like the father feel very proud because my house got rules. Everyone have to follow the rules. This is my house rules. So when this girl was young, she accidentally misplaced, in this case, a Barbie doll. What happened? The father took it, threw it away. So now, you, you understand the meta program. Now you look at currently. Because she is brought up in an environment where everything needs to be in perfect order, she is very uneasy. But because her parents is there, she have to do it. That is a meta program. That is a meta program. So when after she get married, she feel relaxed already. Everything is messy. Okay? So meta program is created during childhood. Now maybe up to this point, some of you might not understand meta program yet. So let's go to this area. It all started with what you lack, what you are lacking of, and then it becomes your expectations. Eventually, you become disappointment. Okay? After that, you drop into a 4-step toxic process. I will put this on hold again. See this number here? 37.2. What is 37.2? This is the temperature, the body temperature. So what is the official fever temperature? Huh? 37.6, 37.5, or 37.6. You know, sometimes when you feel you're not sick yet, but then you have that feeling that you're getting sick. Do you have that feeling? Huh? So that in actual fact, what is happening is your body temperatures is slowly rising towards this area, but it's not this area yet. So that's why you can feel that your body is uneasy. Now, why did I specify 37.2? 37.2 is actually the temperature where most of us are when we are falling in love. 37.2. Okay? What does it mean? It means that, let's say both of you, the guy is going after the girl, and then the girl have a little bit feeling about the guy, and then when they meet, right, when they see eye to eye, they go out for coffee, go out for dinner, their body temperature is slightly higher, 37.2 usually, but not considered fever yet. So when you are in that lovey-dovey feeling, your temperature is high, 37.2. When you are at 37.2, only one thing will happen. In the brain, it looks something like that. This is your nose. This is the front of the brain. Okay? This front part, I'm not going to use technical terms. In this case, let's just call it the thinking brain. Okay? This area. The thinking, we call it the front part. Front part, we call it the thinking brain. And then over here, this area here is what we call the fighting brain. Fighting or running, fight or flight. So to make it simple, let's call this the thinking brain, and let's call this the fighting brain. Now, when you are in love, your temperature is high at 37.2. Usually, your fighting brain will kick in. Fighting brain, in the olden days, actually, the fighting brain, in the olden days, or today as well, for example, when suddenly outside, when you're walking outside, you saw a lion looking at you. What's happening? Instantly, your brain shut off. Your thinking brain will shut off, and then all the blood, all the oxygen will be channeled to the fighting brain. So once the fighting brain is turned on, blood oxygen will flow down to all your muscle. That means your brain and your body is ready for one thing. Either you fight this lion or you run away from this lion. So you don't need much thinking. You run as fast as possible. That is also the time where you realize you can run the fastest. Okay? Same thing for some of the videos that you see online. Some people get trapped under some kids get trapped under the car, and then the mother can actually carry the whole car up. What is happening? Fighting brain is kicking in. Oxygen is then pumped into all the muscles so that the muscle is strong enough to react, fight or flight. Okay? So when you are maybe your guy and girl relationship, when you're still new, you get together, temperature is at 37.2, which means your fighting brain is turned on. If your fighting brain is turned on, now you think back, when did you started the relationship? At those times when you were going after that girl or going after that guy, your fighting brain is turned on, which means the way you walk softer. You are more careful. You are more observant. The things that she say, you will listen. When the fighting brain is turned on, what is actually happening is your body will try to cover up the things that you don't have. For example, if you don't have, see what you lack of, if you don't have listening skills, right? When you're going after this girl, your fighting brain is turned on. So in this dinner, you tend to listen more. Okay? So then the girl will look at the guy and say, whoa, this guy likes to listen me talk. Right? But actually the guy don't like to listen people talk. It's actually what he lack of. Okay? So there are a lot of stuff that is happening when you are going after a girl. All this is basically meta-programs that is created during childhood. So for example, when you meet a guy, when you're going after a girl, you start to realize, hey, this girl, she got this quality. She's kind, she's humble, she's tall, she listens to what I say. And then after a few years getting together, after a few years getting married, you start to realize, no, she's not humble, she's not honest, she don't like to listen to me. It's exact opposite. Why is it exact opposite? Because after you got married, you get together already, you become relaxed. When you become relaxed, you are no longer 37.2 already. Your temperature drops back to normal. So once your temperature drops back to normal, all the stuff that you are lacking start to emerge. And then your partner or you will have certain expectation. I thought you like to listen to what I say. Then it becomes disappointment. So this is the process of a relationship. If you look closely, when you go and find a spouse, this is your expectation of a spouse. I want my spouse to be this way. I want my spouse to be that way. Now, who decide the criteria? Yeah, you may say that you decide the criteria, but in actual fact, it's actually your parents that decide the criteria. The meta program that is created when you're young that decides the criteria because of what you lack of. Then it becomes expectations. You expect this person to have these qualities, but because this person don't have these qualities, you become disappointed. And once you become disappointed, now look back at your relationship, the first thing that you do is you will gain attention. For example, you're angry at your wife, or you're angry, let's say you're angry at your husband, so you want some attention. What do? So when you close the door, you close harder. Boom! Attention. What you are doing is gaining attention. The guy might be sitting there, boom, he might jump a while, get shocked, and then he don't understand. They say, what is this? So clumsy. Huh? So if the girl is gaining attention and the guy don't understand it, then you move into the next step, authority. Now there's a reason why the girl get angry. Same thing is related to the meta program, expectation. It becomes disappointment, and then he will try to gain your attention. For example, the girls want something. She want you that every day after work when you come in, instead of hugging the kids first, I want you to come in and hug me first. Right? So she will try to do a lot of stuff to gain your attention, and then you don't get it. Then she will move to step 2 or plan number 2, authority. So she will tell you, after you finish work, first thing, open the door, come and hug me. Okay? Authority. That is also when the house, in this case the house, in your house, start to have a lot of rules. The rules build up is actually from this area. Okay? So slowly your house will have a lot of rules. And then on the second day, why didn't come and hug me? I told you, right? Told you once, 3 times already, right? 4 times still didn't come, right? What's step number 3? Revenge. Revenge. Because of you, I'm going to talk about later we talk about that. In case I forgot. You put that on hold first, okay? Yeah, important as well. So, revenge. See, you come back, you don't hug me, right? You straight away, you go and hug the dog, right? Revenge now. Step 3. Then when I come home, I'm going to bring the dog in front of you. You see? Put down the dog, then you move along. Now, if the other party is really, after the step 3, still don't recognize that there's a problem, then she'll move to step 4 already. Give up. This is the most toxic part in a relationship, where you see family members, husband and wife, just sit down there. He's like that one. Don't care already. Give up. So you look at this whole area, yeah? From here, it started at maybe 0 years old. And then to here, you take maybe 10 years, right, to get into a relationship. And then from here, gain attention to give up, maybe it will take 6 months in a relationship. So every 2 months you gain attention. You try to gain your attention every 2 months. And then authority, then this, then this. So this process keeps repeating over and over again. Now the reason why we talk about communication, the most important part is to identify the Metaprogram. It's because of this. You need to understand why you are angry in the first place. Okay? Now, let's come back to Marcus in this case, this person here. Just now he talked about this. This thing here is called condition reflex. For example, who here smokes? Anybody here smokes? Raise your hand. Good. Nobody smokes. Huh? You don't smoke or not? Smoke ah? Yes. Okay, smoke. That's good. Do you smoke? Good. Now, for example, I'm going to tell you, ma'am, in 2 hours' time, the government is going to increase the cigarette price per pack from 5 ringgit to 600 ringgit. What are you going to do? No. What she is going to do? Nothing. She's not going to do anything. This is an opportunist. Okay, she's not going to do anything. Another one, can make money from it. Why not, right? Okay, ask the smokers. Now, the price is at 20 ringgit. In 2 hours' time, the government is going to increase from 20 ringgit to 60 ringgit per pack. What are you going to do?
Store more.
Store more, exactly. Why do you store more? Why do you want to store more? Save more money. Exactly. So you can save more money, because we smoke, so you can save more money. You can also sell, of course. Here, what's happening? Condition reflex. If you are a non-smoker, whatever is happening outside, you don't care. Then, now where were we? Did he start to revenge? So you know his relationship in his house, this one started already. Right, condition reflex, because if it doesn't hurt him, he won't go sit down at this area. Maybe when I was explaining this, he said, this one done already. Done already. Done already. Ah, this one now here. It's called condition reflex. So this is the reason why we are here today. Communication. We understand this process. We understand how your spouse work internally. Right? Let me remember this stuff. Condition reflex. Non-smoker, if the cigarette price goes up, I won't do anything. But for smokers, I will store more. I'll buy more. I'll keep a store load. I keep a whole warehouse. Right? Because you smoke. Same thing. If you get angry when people do something, it usually is a meta program created during childhood.
So in short, in order to, after married for say 10, 20 years, and then the temperature has not been...
10, 20 years, the temperature is back to normal already.
So these are the things that you should act on to ensure that you increase up to the 37%.
No. You shouldn't increase the... No, we should complete the whole communication course, and then we can communicate properly with the spouse. If it works in the family, then it can work in the company, and then your suppliers in work as well. Okay? So this, now that we know this is the process of Metaprogram, so let's just look at in more detail. Let's start to try to identify more Metaprograms. So anybody in the head thought of any Metaprogram that is created by their parents? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to reply. 5, 4, no? Okay, since nobody answer, so I start asking questions. Deep thought, that one, deep thought. Okay. Think of a statement that you remember when you were young. For example, this is a statement that my parents or my grandmother usually say when I was young. Oh, sorry. Adult talk. Kids don't talk. Okay, this is a statement that you remember. So now, think back. What is some of the statements that you remember? Any statements?
Shut up, do not disturb me.
Shut up, don't disturb me. Okay, good.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. This one I can imagine. 1. Finish your food. 2. Okay, good. Some more. Finish food. You don't have this one?
Finish it quickly.
Huh? Police catch you. Some more? Don't let me repeat the second time. Some more?
Don't come late. Those will catch you.
Don't come late, ghosts will catch you. Oh, this one is What else?
Faster.
Faster. Some more?
Don't forget money if you don't listen to them.
Yeah. Anything else? No, don't finish work, don't eat.
Go and ask your father.
Ask your mom.
Come on. Okay, we put this on hold first. So this is right now what we're doing is actually a process of identifying our Metaprogram. For example, I remember many years back, me and my family went for a trip to Iceland. Now, very nice place. I was the driver. And then I saw the mountain. I saw a huge, big mountain. So then we decided that we'll go up that mountain. Okay? So that's the decision that we made. And then I was the driver. And then this mountain, this very tall mountain, if you look closely, if you look far apart, this mountain is very nice. And then as I drive closer and closer at the bottom of the mountain, I start to realize something wrong already. But I just kept quiet. Then, as I drive up the mountain, I slowly realized the road becomes smaller and smaller. How small it is? My car is a 4-wheel drive car. And then the mountain itself, the road of the mountain itself, can only fit a 4-wheel drive car, the distance of a 4-wheel drive car plus a little bit. So which means if my tire just go left side, the whole car will drop already. So then I keep going upwards and upwards. Then I start to realize the road becomes smaller and smaller. At a point the car cannot fit that road. So I start to panic. But I kept quiet. I start to panic. I start to sweat already. And then when I look at the side, my co-driver, which is my father, he's happily taking his phone. Whoa, the view is so nice. Whoa. What happened? When I look at him, I look at the back, everyone looking outside. Wow, very nice. And then they are making a lot of noises. So I said one thing. That time I got angry. I said, shut up! And then I slowly U-turned and reversed. In this case, the car came back down and we didn't go all the way up. So then, after the trip ended, it's okay. Nothing special. Up until, I think 1 year back, recently, when I was with my mom. And then, she said something. I got angry. So I just said the same thing. I said, shut up! You know what my mom said? My mom said, you are exactly like your father. Then I look at her and say, huh? What do you mean? She said, your father, when he was young, when you were young, right? All of you was in the car. When your father is on the phone driving, that's what he usually do. Shut up! Everyone keep quiet already. Then he continued talking on the phone. Now, I was so young, I don't even remember that scene. But then the Metaprogram is created already. So, for example, shut up! When I'm stressed, when I hear people talking a lot, then I'm very stressed, then I'll just say, shut up! So this Metaprogram is created when I was really, really young, to the extent where I can't even remember when is it created. But then I'm actually replicating what my father is doing when I'm in stress. Now that I know this, do I still do it? Yes, I still do. Of course, not as much. Now that I'm aware of it, sometimes I still do it, but I do a lot less. And then I start to monitor myself more. For example, I feel angry already. Because I know this is my Metaprogram. When I'm stressed and it's noisy, I just say, shut up. So I know that now this is my Metaprogram. So your job is to identify your Metaprogram and see where it actually comes from. Because your argument usually starts from when you are young. Now for those that say my parents left early, it's the same thing. If your parents left early, your uncle, your auntie, who take care of you? So if you look closely, a person is in a way molded into who they are today, carrying a lot of Metaprograms. A lot of Metaprograms. Why a kid can be so quiet when she's outside, can be so quiet when she's at home, Why this kid always lock himself in the room? So all this, there's a reason for it. Now your job is to find your own meta program, and then when you talk, try to identify the person's meta program. A few more minutes, then we go for toilet break. Yeah? Let's just finish this thing first. So when we identify all these things, this is just something that your friends here just started talking about. Huh? Now, let's just look at this. Go and ask your father or mother. Now, is this sentence, all these sentences here look so simple, right? It's actually a meta program created. Let's identify one more here. Go and ask your father and mother. Now imagine, when do the parents usually say this? Do he say it when you are 50 years old? What about 40? No? 30? 20? 10? Maybe, maybe around there already. So we don't know the exact age, but it's usually those times from maybe 0 to 15, right? We hear this type of line. Go and ask your father or mother. So for example, you, small little boy, run towards your mom and say, "Ma, I want to buy this." And then your mom say, "Go and ask your father." You run to your father and then you say, "I want to buy this." Go and ask your mother. Now, when we think about it, it's a bit funny. Because we're still young kids. What do they know? Nothing. Meta program created. What happens? Now, you put yourself in the situation of this kid. She wants something. Now, why this person wants something? Maybe because his friends in school have it, and then when he go to school, he don't have it. He feel down. He feel this and that. Or maybe the teacher asked them to buy, but then the kid didn't communicate properly to the parents. So she just go to the parents and say, "I want this," right? So after that, once the parents don't buy, because when you say you're passing the responsibility to your mother, your father, and then you go this way and that way, left and right. So this kid will be confused, right? I don't know whether to approach my father or to approach my mother. Now maybe this is the first time happening. What about 2 weeks later, another similar problem happen, or you reply that way as well? Go and ask your father. Then the mother will say, "Go and ask your mother," right? Both ways are go and ask your father, mother. So when this situation repeat maybe 2-3 times, this person, whenever there's a question, right, he'll say, "I handle myself." Because I ask my mother will ask me go to my father will ask me go to my mother, so I'm just wasting my time. That is her meta program. Now, when do you trigger this person? For example, now this person grew up already. Now last time this person is still a kid, right? Now he grew up already. Now 26 years old, masters in data analytics, or PhD in whatever science. Then imagine after writing a report, she go to her boss. To write this report, maybe she spent 2 days without sleeping. She go to her boss and say, "Boss, there you go. This is the report that you asked for. Do you approve it? Will you approve it?" Or the boss say, "Go and ask the other boss." Straight away, this guy, boom, gonna explode already. He will get angry. What is this? Go and ask the other boss. You see what's happening here? Condition reflex. Remember condition reflex or not? What's the condition reflex? Because it's related to her. So that when the boss asks, when the boss just say, "Go and ask the other boss," this person feel angry. But it compared to another person that doesn't have this condition reflex, go and ask the other boss. So the other person will say, "Okay," you take happily again, pass it. But you, why are you so angry?